Hi guys, welcome to my channel. So today, in today's lecture, we're going to learn about chapter 3 of your textbook, which is nothing but life process in living organism, part 2. Alright, so now let's understand the meaning of the word life process. So basically, in your 8th standard, in your 9th standard, we have been learning about various such life processes or the various systems which keep our body alive. For example, in your 8, you had something called as a circulatory system, where you had the diagram of your heart. Then you had respiratory system, right? In your 9th standard, we learned about excretory system, your kidney. Then your control and coordination, wherein your nervous system came into picture, as well as your endocrine system, right? Now in your 10th standard, that is this chapter itself, we're going to learn all about something called as reproduction. Now whatever processes I've mentioned here, we had also learned about digestion. So whatever process I've mentioned here, the digestion, the circulation, the respiration, excretion, nervous system, endocrine system, reproduction, these all are basically called as life processes. Why? Because these are the processes which keeps our body alive or helps us to survive. That's why these are called life process. For example, circulatory system है तो क्या आता है? Heart आता है, right? So now suppose if a person's heart stops functioning, what will happen? The person will die, right? So circulatory system is very important. Why? Because it only ensures that it will help the individual to survive. Same with digestion, same with respiration, so same with all these processes, and that's why these are called life processes. I hope you understood. So the meaning of life process is nothing but processes which keeps us alive. As we have learned all these processes earlier, this year we're just going to focus on something called as reproduction. All right, now what is reproduction? So reproduction is nothing but basically we have something called as one individual. Okay, so ये एक individual है which is already existing. Now this individual gives rise to another baby individual. So now this process we will call it as reproduction. Meaning क्या है? That there is a pre-existing individual या pre-existing organism, and that pre-existing organism is going to form a new organism, right? So such a process we call it as reproduction. तो अगर define करने जाए तो reproduction is a life process in which a pre-existing organism gives rise to a new organism. ठीक है? So please definition लिख के लो. What is reproduction? It is a life process in which a pre-existing organism gives rise to a new organism. ठीक है? Now I hope you understood the meaning of reproduction. कि जो already exist कर रहा है organism, maybe it's a man, maybe a dog, maybe a cat, they are going to give rise to a new organism. ठीक है? So उसको हम लोग reproduction बोलते हैं. But based on the complexity of the organism, the same reproduction is of two types. One being the asexual reproduction and another being the sexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction मतलब suppose I have this amoeba, the omelette shaped cell. ठीक है? ऐसा omelette मैंने ड्रॉ कर दिया. तो ये जो organism है, as you can see, it's just made up of one cell. It is so simple. It is not at all complex in design. So this amoeba, ठीक है, ये क्या करता है? डिवाइड करके दो डॉटर सेल्स को बनाता है. ठीक है? तो ये हो गया असेक्सुअल रिप्रोडक्शन. तो सेक्सुअल रिप्रोडक्शन क्या है? जहाँ पे देयर इज अ मैन एंड अ वुमन इन्वॉल्व, मतलब एक मेल है एक फीमेल है, दो जेंडर्स है, and these two will form something called as gametes. Their gametes will unite and form a new individual. तो जब भी एक ही पेरेंट है, वो भी बहुत सिंपल है डिज़ाइन में, तभी होता है असेक्सुअल रिप्रोडक्शन. एंड जब भी दो पेरेंट्स हैं इन्वॉल्व है, तभी होता है सेक्सुअल रिप्रोडक्शन. बट अंडरस्टैंड, ये जो रिप्रोडक्शन है ना, इट्स नॉट एसेंशियल फॉर अ इंडिविजुअल. मतलब एक इंडिविजुअल के सर्वाइवल के लिए इसकी ज़रूरत नहीं है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ़ आई डिसाइड टुमारो आई डोंट वांट टू रिप्रोड्यूस इन दिस लाइफ, सो दैट डजंट मीन आई विल डाई, अनलाइक द हार्ट विच इज स्टॉपिंग. समझा? तो रिप्रोडक्शन सिस्टम बंद पड़ गया, या we just decide we are not going to reproduce, we still remain alive. But if suppose everyone of that species, every person in that species decide कि वो reproduce नहीं करेंगे, तो क्या होगा? Now the species will get extinct, right? So reproduction is not essential for an individual, but it is essential for survival of the species. आज ह्यूमंस का पॉपुलेशन देखो इतना सारा है. हाउ इज़ इट पॉसिबल? इट्स पॉसिबल बिकॉज ह्यूमंस आर कंटिन्यूसली रिप्रोड्यूसिंग. अगर ह्यूमंस सबने डिसाइड किया रिप्रोड्यूस नहीं करेंगे, तो इंडिविजुअल जाने दो, पूरा स्पीसीज ही हट जाएगा. ठीक है, एक्सटिंक्ट हो जाएगा.